Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Life by Design podcast. On this week's episode, you've got me, my friends. We are talking all things the Inner Circle. Welcome to 2025. In this episode, expect to learn what the Inner Circle is, who it's for, who it's not for, the results that you can expect in the Inner Circle, and much, much more. Enjoy the episode. Now, guys, before we start this week's episode of the podcast, I want to talk to you about the Life by Design Mastermind. The Life by Design Mastermind is the mastermind for go-getters and high achievers who are looking to create a more successful, fulfilling, and balanced life by design. If you're serious about transforming your life, achieving your goals, and living a life on your terms, then the Life by Design is your golden ticket. Head over to the show notes and click on the link for more details about the program. Gang, what is up? Hope you are very well. Back with another solo episode. There'll be a few of them this year. Not every week, not all weeks, but there'll be a few. And this week in particular, talking all things the Inner Circle. By the time this comes out, we're very close to kicking things off. And then the doors will be shut for a little bit. They'll be shut till March and then they'll open again. Ladies, this is no good to you, this one, unless you know a bloke that's a good fit. Gents, this is all for you. So over the last 4 or 5 years, I've run a number of different masterminds, learned a lot, worked out what works, what doesn't. Who I want to work with, who I don't, etc. And that has brought us to here, my friends, the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle is for men who want to have it all. And when I talk about having it all, I'm talking primarily about the 6 Ps: passions, performance, profits, purpose, people, and partner. And what I've noticed with men, definitely not exclusive to men, but with men, is that most men are a one-trick pony. And what that means is that they do very well in some area of their life, but are dropping the ball massively in other areas of their lives. And the majority of blokes in my world do very well from a profits point of view. They know how to make bank, but the other areas are letting them down. And that might look like being in a career that they are just doing it because it makes good money. It has no kind of deeper meaning or connection or purpose or fulfillment to them. That might look like divorce. That might look like, relationships that are broken up. That might look like being overweight. That might look like, not really having friends outside of, work colleagues, etc. And, over the years, the last 5 years in particular, I've come up with these 6 Ps, both from a personal experience and from a research point of view in terms of what makes a good life. And if you're dropping the ball in any of those areas, it's going to feel off. And that's a big part of the reason why it feels off for a lot of people. And, depending where you're at, you might be coming into my world, into the world of the Inner Circle, with nothing working for you. I've been there, so I totally get it if that is where you're starting. Or you might just be coming in with a certain area that you need to work on. For a lot of men, there's a lot of time, energy, and attention that's required around their intimate relationship, whether it's dead and buried, and that breakup, that heartbreak was the reason for them making change, whether it's on life support, or even if you're just kind of a bloke who, the relationship's okay, but you want to, bring it back to life and take it to a new level. All 3 areas and levels, I guess, are super important. And one of the things for me about a mastermind is the accountability, the structure, and the support. We are coming up to kind of mid-January, and we are well and truly past hype season. Hype season being, between the kind of 26th of December and the 3rd or 4th of January. Everyone's hyped up about the year. They've got their word, their goal, their theme, their intention. And I like it in the way of new opportunities, an opportunity to reset and go again. I don't love it in terms of the fact that every year the same thing happens. By mid-January, 90% of people are washed out. And, for all the hype that there was about their goal, theme, intention, word, it's dead for another year. And I don't know what stories people tell themselves, justifications that they have for, just letting their dreams kind of fall by the wayside, but the majority of people fall into that category. So I look at kind of challenge, support, accountability, structure as multi-layered and multi-leveled. And, based on kind of the research, even something really simple like that is super important. So based on the research, You are 800% more likely to reach your goal if you have an accountability partner, and you're 1200% more likely to reach your goal if you have an accountability group. 800% up to 1200%. So even if you had a pretty average group, like those numbers are astonishing. And I remember, and I don't know kind of where you're at in your world, but I remember for years on years that I would always around kind of that Christmas, New Year's, I'd be trying to find someone who could, that I could bounce off and hold each other accountable to the goals and the standards. And it falls away. It falls away so regularly. So a big part of the program is my pain, but also the pain of, the majority of blokes, again, being the one trick pony. And, for a lot of people, they roll into the year, the first week, most people have holidays. The second week, they start to get back into things and it kicks off. And that busyness without the support, challenge and structure and accountability means that their goals just kind of fade away. And, as a bloke, it's quite common to have people around you, but not necessarily have guys that are really supportive, well-intended, but not really supportive on a much deeper level, but also won't challenge you. That they might kind of see a behavior that's not necessarily working for you, or see where you're playing small, or see where you're stepping up, but to call you forward into stepping into that, most won't do it. And the way that I look at people that I care about is assuming I've been given the right to call them forward, because that's important. No one likes unsolicited advice, but assuming that I have that kind of friendship dynamic or client coach dynamic with someone, I think I'm letting them down by not calling them forward, by not challenging them and by not supporting them. So yes, at times my approach is quite brutal, but I look at that through the eyes of love and my intention to get the best out of people. Whereas, the majority of society, the way I see it, the majority of society are like, want to be nice, want to be the nice person. And the nice person is the one who will not say anything for fear of hurting the other person's feelings, for fear of what might happen to the friendship dynamic. So the nice person just sits back and watches their friend, their partner, their family, their work colleague deteriorate and capitulate, seeing these blind spots, seeing these limiting beliefs, seeing these barriers, but going, oh, I'm a nice person, I'm not going to say anything. I think that is fucking appalling. But yet, that's the way the majority of society works. I'm going to be the nice person, so I'm not going to say anything. So if you're coming into this space, know that with love, our intention is to bring to light all and any way in which you're letting yourself down. Because we see the future, we see the version 2.0 of you. And to let these things slide is to let you down. To let you go, which is what most nice people do, I'm just going to let them go, is to let them down. I don't look at that through the eyes of love at all. At all. Most of society might. I think it's fucking bullshit. I'm going to be nice. You go and deteriorate. You go and play small. You go and let your limiting beliefs, barriers, blind spots take care of you. So I'm the nice friend, so I'm not going to say anything. I'll just support, even though I can see the bullshit that's playing out. It's fucking lame. So if you want that, go and hang with your friends. They'll do it. They'll do it well. But if you want to be held accountable from a loving place with the intent to take you to a level and a space that you've never been before, then this might be for you. Because there's equal portions of what we used to call challenge and champion. Challenge you, call you forward into the version that you are capable of, and champion you. Get behind you, support you in a real deep way. Because again, hey, that's awesome. You'd be lucky if you get it. That's awesome, actually, in hindsight. But like proper support. Because the majority of men have blokes around them. They can go to the pub, have a few drinks, watch the footy, do a few lines, talk about work a bit. But like, if you were stuck at 3 a.m., would you be calling any of these people? And it was only a couple of weeks ago that I had this exact incident show up. A mate on the verge of breakup, who's gone through a breakup, unfortunately, recently, called me with the same issue. Like, we're close. I wouldn't have thought that I'd be one of his first points of call, but we're close. But he said the same thing. He's like, dude, I've got mates, but they just can't help me through a situation like this. I know that you can. And I'm glad that I could be there and be that person for him. But there's tens of thousands of other guys out there as a one-trick pony, good at business, good at profits, who don't have the camaraderie, who don't have the community to support them when they need and challenge them when there's an opportunity there. And that's a big part of what the inner circle is. So I don't know where you're starting, but what I do know is that I want everyone who comes into my world in the inner circle to be the type of blokes that will have a fucking red hot crack at making their way to the pinnacle. The pinnacle being winning in every area of their life. Not a one-trick pony, not a two-trick pony, winning in all 6 areas. Because that's, for me, what a real life by design looks like. Winning in every area. Society will tell you different. Society will tell you, oh, that person's successful because financially he's done well, or because he's created a status. His fucking wife hates him. His kids want nothing to do with him. And he's put on so much weight he can't see his dick when he pisses. Is that success? Like, if you really rub your eyes clean of the systematic, dogmatic belief that we have around success, do you look at that as success? You should see the guy's divorce papers, the divorce settlement that he goes through. It ain't success. So have a think about it. Life by design, creating that for yourself and building towards that inner circle, that pinnacle, could be the right fit, my friend. But only if you are all in. Over the years, I've been in a very fortunate position to work with a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that aren't all in. There's a lot of people that don't like the C word, commitment. Yeah, I'll try that. I'll do my best. My friend, if you are one of those people, I'll do my best. You're better off staying in the sandcastles at play school, primary school, playing in that league. Because this isn't a place for like, I'll do my best. This is a proper place for commitment. That's preschool chat. I'll try, I'll do my best. You can tell your kids that when they go to their running festival, running carnival. Hey son, do your best. That's all right at that age. As a fully grown man and a fully grown adult, to try or to do your best is child's play. So if that's you, my friend, this is not the right spot. But if you're committed to going all in and committed to taking yourself to a place that you've potentially never been across all 6 areas of your life, then shoot me a DM on Instagram or shoot me an email, Blake at Worrall-Thompson, and we can chat. The Inner Circle. Let's go.